Absolutely. Let's take a look at the first tick on the index. Then remember, the Nifty has been, steady around the 21,700 mark. And that's where we're at this morning. The first tick on the index is up in the green. And in fact, 70 points higher now. Not too bad at all. Sensex is up about 210 points. Let's take it straight to the top gainers. The Nifty Bank, by the way, is also holding up with a gain of 0.6%. And what's leading from the front this morning, the advanced decline ratio, by the way, is quite healthy at 1,094 stocks on the advancing side. Let's take a look at Reliance, HUL and how they're reacting to numbers. Reliance, remember, the numbers largely were flat in line with estimates. So the stock is flat as well, not doing anything. HUL is the one that's dragging down almost about 3% because the numbers were weak. And the management said that the demand environment is challenging. Paytm, on the other hand, is the one that's up almost about 3% reacting to a good set of numbers. Losses have gone down, EBITDA has improved, so Paytm looking good. And Indices Bank is also seeing some follow-on buying in its numbers after the kind of, in the stock, after the kind of numbers that it posted. So Indices Bank is up and about. Would be helpful to see what ICICI and Kotak are doing, given the kind of, given that today both will be coming out with their earnings. ICICI Bank up 0.4% and Kotak up 0.3%. IT stocks are also in focus. Tech Mahindra is holding in the green and a couple of other IT names also looking good. And then you have names like HDFC Bank. After being one of the biggest losers last week, HDFC Bank is finding some stability, finding its feet around that 1480, 1500 mark. So those are some stocks in focus. In the broader markets, names like CESC, Tejas, etc. are under pressure. Nigel will take that forward. But for now, the opening is pretty decent. Let's see if the market is able to build onto these gains. But for now, green on the screen.
Well, that's right. CESC, that's a big loser. That's down close to around 4.5% in today's trading session. On the flip side, you have some big gainers. IRFC, what do you say about it? 175 rupees stock, 8% higher. RVNL, that stock is up 6.5%. Big move being seen out there. IRCON, up close to around 6.5%. So massive move is what we're seeing out there. EIL, I recall that around 200 rupees, Nimesh was talking about a potential big order that's coming in there. And we had highlighted this as well on Chartbusters, that the way the stock was moving, and we discussed this with Prakash Sivan as well, that maybe, past few years, it's been a bit of an underperformer. But that one, in fact, is bucking the trend. And I think in the last 20 days, it's up close to around 20% approximately. So big move is what we see on that one. NBCC as well, that one is up close to around 3%. And NHPC, up close to around 3%. So quite a few big movers is what we're seeing in trade today. And to give you a data point on the Nifty Bank, we're moving towards the 50 DMA. That's around 300 points away from current levels, but it's closer to around 46,000. So that's good news. And on the Nifty, we have opened above the 20 DMA. So that's the other data point that I want to throw in there. RBL Bank will be joined by the management soon, but that's up 3%. Prashant.
Well, it's a good start, right? 75 points higher is what we have. The day's high, by the way, is 21,720. So, that 50% retracement is 21,704. So marginal crossover, throwover above that level. And then we've come off a little bit, but good. The question is, will around these levels, 21.7 and then 21.8, will this fizzle out or, this is it and we've kind of put behind the midweek turbulence that we saw earlier. We were talking about, and we put that question to Mitesh earlier, some 12-odd PSU stocks, right? We can have, if you can pull the hot boards up, it'll give you a snapshot picture of what's happening across that pack. You'll get a real sense of what's happening. Nigel was mentioning about some of those stocks, but maybe if you can have those, those sort of stacks up, stock stacks up. RVN, there you go, on your screen. This is the pack, right? RVNL, IRFC, IRCON, big gains between 7 and 11, 12%. Railtel, RITES, 5%, 3.5%. And then the ex-railway stocks, but PSU ex-railway stocks, HUDCO 3%, IRDA 6%, New India Assurance is up about 3% or so. There'll be more. There's NBCC 3%, REC is a little starting 0.5% higher. GICRE went up massively yesterday. It's up another 3.5%. So this is the pack to really focus on. And, it's just absolutely incredible. What I suspect perhaps is happening there is, of course, a lot of retail and HNI participation that's essentially predominant here in this space. But I think not today, because, mutual funds are not working. But overall, I think there has been a fair bit of fund pickup as well, fund activity pickup as well. Guys, if you remember, on our birthday, the CNBC-TV18's birthday, on the 7th of December, we were speaking with Sridhar Shivaram. And we did that chat from the newsroom floor. And he said, well, the idea would be not to try and pick this or that in the PSU space, but buy a PSU fund.
Yes.
And I was just looking at from that day, the index is up some 16% from the 7th of, So, I mean, I think there is that, because there are fund houses now offering specific PSU schemes.
Yeah.
So I think a fair bit of, and they are getting money every month, right?
Sridhar, in fact, a year and a half ago, he was on a show Smart Money. And at that time, nobody was touching PSUs. And at that time, he said, this is the time when you should be buying PSU stocks. I mean, it was a brave call, to be honest, at that time, but it did extremely well. And now just look at where the stocks
I'll
are.
just chip in with the point on PSUs as well. And I did this piece on Editors Roundtable. 3 years ago, the entire PSU basket was 15 lakh crore rupees. Today, it is around 55-56 lakh crore rupees. But at that point of time, the entire pat that you were getting from those PSU names was around 1.5 lakh crore. So you're saying, yes, the market capitalization has gone up by close to around 4.5 times. But in fact, the earnings as well have gone from 1.5 lakh closer to around 5 lakh crore odd. So that valuation, if you're talking about on a PE basis, this is the entire space, right? Put it all together. It's still trading at that same 11 times, 11, 12 times. So the PE re-rating has not happened.
Because
if at all it had to happen. Earnings have gone up in proportion with the prices. And that's just
one more thing. You were talking about, Nimesh did a piece and we put that up, we did that on Editors Roundtable yesterday, that how P multiples have moved over the last many years, right? But the point is, I was looking at this Kotak note, and what they do very nicely is they give you what PEs were starting 2011. And you look at across sectors, everything was 14 times, 15 times, everything is now 30 times, depending on what sector you are.
Yeah.
So it's just that PSUs have also done well and they've also gone up. But I think there is this aversion, right? I mean, the mental makeup with regards to PSUs as well. PSUs, these are the guys, and the general kind of perception is these are the last things to move in a bull market. It signals this or that. So that's been traditionally how they looked at. But I think the point is that profitability has also gone up quite a bit, as you said. So I think one needs to make account for that and not just kind of fall back on easy explanations, which is that P multiples have gone up because they've gone up for pretty much all sectors across the board.
Absolutely. I just want